Hello and welcome. It's been a while since I made a video on here, but I'm back with a new game. Today I'll be showing a condensed version of the first hour of gameplay in Hokko Life, developed by Wonderscope and published by Team 17. Wonderscope is a super tiny developer based in Sweden, and you will probably know Team 17 from the Worms series and more recently Overcooked. I need to start with a thank you to Team 17, who very kindly provided me with a key to play Hokko Life a little bit early before it releases on Steam on June the 2nd. Now, Wonderscope is primarily a one-person studio, so that's why the game will be releasing into early access first. There are a few bugs here and there, especially in this early version, but they do have a pretty robust bug reporting page, and the dev is very active on Twitter and Discord and Steam. So let's get into it. So, Hokko Life is a comfy, creative life simulator in the same vein as Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, which I'll reference a few times in the video just to give you a sort of more recent comparison, especially Animal Crossing, which only came out last year. Hokko is filled with anthropomorphic animal friends. Took me a while to get that word right, but I think I nailed it. And they are randomised on every playthrough. I know that because I did play this game through twice due to a game-breaking bug quite early on. Thankfully, only took about 20 minutes that I had to redo. So the dev is aware of that problem. I know a few people on the Hokko Life Discord ran into it, and he is aware of that and is fixing it, which is very nice, but I did encounter different neighbours each time, so I guess all it did was prove that they are randomised. That was the only game-breaking issue I had. Other than that, it was just a few graphical issues, but again, this is a new developer, and you can't expect pre-release versions to be perfect. Hokko Life features crafting, resource gathering, furniture designing, and the ability to paint your own designs for wallpaper, flooring, and clothing as well, which can be given to your villagers, so you can pretty much have everything looking exactly the way you want it. So, we're looking at the character creation screen right now. It's fairly basic, but does offer a lot of customization for unique eyes, skin tone, and hair, so if you ever wanted to be a smurf, the world of Hokko Life is your oyster. You can just see a few button prompts are missing here. I did play this with a controller for which there's full support, but not really that much of an issue. I simply just switched to mouse and keyboard for this part. What you will notice immediately is there is no gender choice, allowing you to look however you want, wear whatever you want, which I thought was a really nice inclusive choice. You'll also see when I get started, characters will refer to you with they, them pronouns, and they'll actually do that for most of the villagers as well. In the first hour, I actually only noticed one character who was specifically referred to as he or she. So you'll start the game at a small train station during a storm, and the tree blocking the road will push you into the cosy looking inn in the town centre. In there you'll meet Omer and Moss, two of the residents of Hokko, who will introduce themselves and have a friendly chat about how you ended up in their sleepy town. They'll explain that the once busy area has become lonelier in the past few years, and with them meeting less visitors and people leaving to move to other towns and cities. After naming your character, the two animals, who I must say have a very mascot-like quality, with large heads and human-like bodies, they will offer you a room upstairs so you can stay the night while you wait for the next train. I really like the eastern style of the inn, and the furniture and the decor give a really nice comfy feeling to what will be your base for at least the first chunk of the game. The next morning, Omer will ask you to help Moss with clearing the fallen tree in the plaza, and that's where you'll be introduced to tools as he hands you an axe to chop it up. This will be very familiar to players of similar games, so it's very easy to get used to. You'll notice there's no stamina bar like Stardew, so you can just chop away all day if you need to. The game does show later on that time can be passed manually by taking a nap for different amounts of time, which I much prefer to Animal Crossing's real-time mechanic, which made progress almost glacial if you want to move buildings, or grow flowers and build features like stairs and ramps. Hokko Life does feature seasons. The dev is currently improving them and adding more weather, so you'll have different weather every day. The seasons will change. I'm not 100% sure on the season's length just yet, after only a short playtime, but I'm assuming probably around 20 to 30 days. After receiving the axe, you'll be off to meet your new neighbours who live on the outskirts of the town centre. Now, as I said, these are randomised, so on the second run through that I recorded, I met May, a pink elephant, and Poa, a pig of some variety but very cute. There's also a lovely beach area, so later in the game you can get into some fishing action, and yes, there is a fishing minigame, which I will show off later in the video. So the first day or so in Hokko Life will be the sort of tutorial section, pretty standard stuff, and it'll also introduce you to Sally, the workshop owner, who is a very adorable but very forgetful dog. Sally will instruct you on crafting and designing once you've done a few tasks to help them and Moss out with redecorating the town. Once you've gathered what Sally needs, you'll be straight into the decoration part of Hokko Life, which I'm usually terrible at in most games, but it's very simple here. The grid system and the way you can move your character inside of the furniture placing makes it really easy to pop things where you want them. You've got a little bit of rotation too. I'm not sure if you can get more precise with the rotation. On the controller it was only offering me 90 degrees, but we'll see when the game is fully released. I did realise later that where I placed that second bench would eventually be replaced by another building, so goodbye bench. I'm not sure what happened to that, but I'm assuming it's gone forever. Upon returning to the inn, Oma will explain that various people from outside of Hokko will visit during lunch and supper, and this is how you'll meet new characters and invite them to move to your town. You'll also be sent out to clean up trash. As I said in this tutorial section, you are basically an errand runner. I did notice that these objects on the beach behave like furniture rather than objects like the flowers or logs that you just pick up as you walk past them. So I guess if you want to desecrate your house, well, I mean, yeah, okay. I guess that was a bit of a flub, but I guess it was accurate. If you want to decorate your house with trash and seaweed, that seems to be an option. So after a few more tasks for the villagers, you'll be introduced to crafting, which is a very simple process. You just dunk whatever you need onto the workbench and choose whatever you want to craft. Super easy. Here we've got a demonstration of the, I suppose, gardening system. You can plop new trees down when you need more wood, flowers when you want to add a bit of colour to the town. Moss's shop will sell these seeds every day, and the stock will change every few days for those and the furniture, which is also for sale in there for your future home. You'll also notice I accidentally dug up one of the flowers I planted, which I didn't realise until the day after, so that task took a little bit longer than planned. Oops. And again, this meeting is randomised, but here I meet Benny the Bunny, which was an experience. Benny is clearly having a hard time, but jumped at the chance to move to Hokko once there's a house available for him anyway. I feel you, Benny. I feel you. So, once I've got the realtor active in the town, this poor fella will move in and hopefully enjoy a more laid-back lifestyle. Villagers will also give you random quests, such as returning a lost item to someone else. I actually spent quite a while searching for May to give them the paint they lost, which really makes me agree with the people who suggested that Animal Crossing needs a map to show you where your villagers are. I ended up just sleeping until the next day, and battering May's door down at 8 o'clock in the morning to hand the paint back, which I feel like she probably didn't appreciate, but she didn't let it show. Here's a peek at the fishing system once we've crafted our rod. After a telling off from Sally, as I was apparently too early to get into designing anyway. Getting a fish's attention simply means just dropping the bait in front of them and waiting for a bite. Once they do, just reel them in, follow the instructions on screen so you don't break your line. Pretty simple stuff. You can also tap buttons during the minigame to gain extra items before you add the fish to your collection. Just as we come to the end of the first hour, we meet Rosa, who will build an office to sell houses to new villagers and eventually help you build your own. And that's where my bench was, crushed under construction. We're going to finish up with the last bit of decorating, and there you have it. I did enjoy my first hour in Hokko Life a lot. Like I said, it wasn't a perfect experience. I did have some problems upon running into the game-breaking bug, which required deleting my save file. That was certainly a mission, which turned out to be because Steam was holding a cloud version of the save, so it was a little bit of a faff to get rid of it and start over. Thankfully, I didn't lose more than 20 minutes of work, so not really a big issue, and like I said, the dev is very aware of that problem and they're working to fix it. Like I said, there were a few graphic textures missing, button prompts going away in some menus, but all in all, it was a really good experience. If you liked Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, any games like that, I would definitely recommend it. Certainly a nice way to chill out after playing my usual RPG or fast-paced games, and I'm looking forward to playing a lot more of it. I feel like it's going to be one of those relaxation kind of games. It's very sedate, it's a nice slow pace that you can... Well, it doesn't have to be a slow paced. If you want, you can blast through it with the ability to skip forward a day or two. Once again, a big thank you to Team 17 for providing the game and allowing me to play it a little bit before release. Hokko Life will be available on early access only on Steam on the 2nd of June, be priced at $20, £16 or €20, depending on where you are, of course. You can visit the game's page on the Steam store or go to hokko.life for more information. So there you have it, there's Hokko Life. Thank you very much for watching, drop a like or subscribe if you fancy, and have a great day.